That's you, Claire.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Virtual Nature School, where we are exploring the idea of it's not a box. Now, one of the things that's amazing about boxes, when you start to explore inquiry-based learning, which is what all of this is about, is that a box is about so many different things. It can be just about a construction material. It can be something that's about containment, about enclosure, about things that matter to you. It's about looking at how we use boxes in our everyday life and how, as a human being, we've come to look at how animals can go in boxes. So this inquiry isn't just about a simple box. It's also about everything that the box represents for us. Now, today, we're looking at another concept, as well as the idea about treasuring and a containment. We're looking at personal and emotional treasures. What are the things that matter to us? And when we work with young children in an inquiry-based learning environment, it means that all of their ideas are valued. It means that if they treasure something as simple as a piece of stick or as a gorgeous leaf, then we're going to give it the same amount of status and respect as we would do anything else. And it can be put into something so that it can be looked after and held close to them wherever they go. So let's have a little look at our film just now, and I'll come back on to hear and talk about some of the possibilities that may come from this one film.
Welcome to our film, which is getting us ready for our inquiry around It Is Not Just a Box. So we've had a look at the idea of construction, and let's just be amazed at the variety of things that we've been creating. Everything from volcanoes to garages. We've been using design principles and drawing our ideas and talking about them. We've been using our imagination to create castles and shapes. And that's really complex because when you start to imagine, it means that you're doing something called higher order thinking, which is really complicated thinking. We've been reshaping our cardboard boxes and constructing new elements, from clocks to aeroplanes to beautiful garages. We've been thinking about decoration and adding detail, whether we've been talking about just building a box or whether we've been looking at an aquarium. We've managed to sit inside our boxes and eat our lunch. We've managed to do large-scale building outside, which is always good fun. So big boxes that we can reshape so that we can get inside no matter what our age. So one of the things about all of the work that we do is that we build up memories. And if we're not careful, we forget all of those wonderful memories, all the things that we've been doing. And so in your memory book, some people write down words and they write down stories and what they've done. Other people put in a photograph. So today our project is around something to do with memories, but it's about wondering, what are the things that really matter to you? What are the things that you really treasure? And so we're going to look at treasure boxes, but it's not going to be full of gold like a pirate's treasure box. These are things that will matter to you, that are all about you. What are the things that you like to eat? What are your favorite colors? What would be inside a box if you were to open it up? What would be in there that would remind you of all the amazing things that you've ever done? So the big question is, what do you think is important? What are the things that you treasure? Well, I can't answer that, but what I can do is share a little bit of the things that matter to me. So in my treasure box, I would put in friends that I've not been able to see for a while. People that matter to me, like my family. So my son and my 2 daughters, and my friends and their new babies. So things that are memories, that are about photographs of places that I went to. So it might be a place I went on holiday, or maybe I went to work. Things that people have given me that meant a lot. So somebody wrote my name on a leaf, and they made it into a brooch, and I wore it at a conference. And I've treasured that beautiful brooch and brought it home and put it in my treasure box. Sometimes the things that you treasure get worn out because you love them so much. I have a teddy bear that's got virtually no fur on him anymore. And so I've cuddled him over my childhood. And actually, he's so precious to me. I have to keep him in my treasure box now. I have my favorite color. I love purples and into deep pinks. So I have pieces of wrapping paper from special birthday presents and just colors that I find really exciting. I have a baby shoe that my son used to wear. And it's because you're a mummy, you think back over those times when your babies were so small. So I've got little tiny booties, little tiny shoes of my own children. I've got lots of nature's treasures because nature is something that gives us these beautiful treasures, and they're things that money just can't buy. So finding a beautiful feather like this that was from a guinea fowl was covered in beautiful spots, and I just thought, how amazing is this feather? And so I wouldn't take all of the feathers, but I might take one really special to me. Many of us in our little community like going onto the beach, finding a shell. This is a tower of sea glass, and I used to love collecting sea glass because I know it's broken bottles, but I just see it as something much more valuable than that. Because every piece of sea glass I've got, I can tell you where I was when I got it and what the weather was like sometimes if it's a very special piece. I have a photograph of a campion flower because now I'm married, my name isn't Campion anymore. But before I got married, my name was Claire Campion. And so the campion flower was really important. So I treasure that. And I haven't got a real campion flower, but I've put in this photograph to remind me. I once found a leaf skeleton, and it was just on the forest floor. And it was so fragile. I wondered to myself, how on earth did this survive with all of the things walking through this forest? So I very carefully picked up the skeleton leaf and brought it home, put it very gently into a piece of tissue paper and put it in my treasures box. So we're going to be making a smaller box, a thing that is a place where you're going to put the things that matter to you. You want a smaller box probably because you're going to have to store this somewhere, and it might be something you want to keep until you're a grown-up. Painting and decorating your box makes it yours. And so you might decide that there are specific colours that you want to use or patterns and designs. So if you decide that you want to decorate your box, sometimes it's a good idea to paint it one colour, like paint it all white, and then put more decorations on top of that again. Things that you might find useful for creating your special box. Well, if you can get hold of some material or fabric, it's nice to line the inside of your precious box. You might need some glue. You might need some scissors to help you cut that. If you like colours, then let's find your paint box and your crayons, and we can do some lovely decorating and designs using your favourite colours. Families are different all over the world, and some of us have got two mums, some of us have got two dads, some of us have got a mum and a dad that live in different places. We all like to do different things, and we all like to go in different places. What's really important is that we realise that we as individuals are really special, and we all have our own ideas and our own theories. But when you start to treasure all the people around you, your little community, whoever that is, then you begin to realise that actually some of the things that go in your treasure box might be memories of people or objects. I look forward to sharing with you what you put into your treasures box. See you soon.
Well, how exciting. Wendy's house is online, and that's super to welcome everybody from there because we've had such fun during our inquiries together. So we've got Nicola and her friends, Finn and Bella. They're watching us live as well from Stirling. So welcome to all of you. Lots of friends who are thinking about what they might put into a treasure box. So let's think a little bit about those things that matter to you or the people that matter to you. Are there things that you like to do? Places you enjoy going to? So I was thinking about that as I was listening to it and wondering about what size of box I might need to put my teddy bear that I talked about in his own box. one of the things about this as an adult is thinking a little bit around how do we support each other to think about all of these different things. And so it's those conversations, it's the dialogue. It's about giving those moments to children whereby we can sit and chat and talk about our own memories. And then that may well stimulate for the young children things that they are thinking about in their own worlds. I think the important part is respect. The important part, the message in this is acceptance, because the things that we treasure are going to be so different for each and every one of us. Now, in the creation of your treasure box, there's all sorts of curriculum learning going on. Everything from design and function to the aesthetics to the understanding and decision-making process. So huge amounts of intercurricular and cross-curricular learning today within this inquiry. If in your explorations with the children that you're working with, or if you're listening to this as a child, I would love to hear from you some of the things that you've been doing. So do tag us in any photographs at AV Nature School on Twitter, or you might decide to join us in our international Facebook group around the Virtual Nature School, or you may be, if you're in Scotland, you could join us in our regional Facebook groups. Share with me what you've been thinking about. It's always great to have a conversation. Any ideas in our chat box today about what people might put into their box? All right, so Sarah's come online and saying they're from Stirling, which is great. And they're really looking forward to today's box challenge. I wonder, Sarah, can you share with us what you might put into a box? It's hard sometimes, isn't it, to think of the things that matter to us. I was talking to my friend just now, and she was saying that she's got a ticket to a concert that she went to once upon a time. And that was such a big thing for her because that group of musicians are no longer together. And so sometimes these objects that you put into the box can be hard to find, but you could always write a little list of the things that you think are important and then spend some time collecting them. It doesn't all have to be done today. So as we always say with these inquiries, just one of these inquiry films might be enough to spend weeks and weeks exploring. So whatever it is that you decide to put into your special treasures box, I wish you well, and I hope that you enjoyed today's